The Grove Podcast.
Hello, my name is Tabs and welcome to I've got here in my notes, a wonderful episode 157 of the Grove Podcast. It's a bit less wonderful now, but we'll get to that. Anyway, thank you for listening. I'm sure you're all doing extremely well and celebrating the fact that after yesterday's 3-0 win against Sunderland, Arsenal have secured another season of top flight football and cannot be relegated. So congratulations to Arteta, the coaches and the boys. Good process. And look, we are top of the league by 6 points. Yes, we are still top of the league by 6 points and with a better goal difference of 5 goals. I think everyone who's listening to this will have obviously witnessed, heard, experienced, whatever, that debacle of the last 10 minutes at Anfield. And despite Liverpool shitting the bed and City finding some competence in the second half, let's not forget we are still very much top and we can laugh at Liverpool's demise. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to tell myself. But honestly, it's bullshit. It's not. But I'm pissed off. I hate Alisson. I hate Liverpool. I hate Donnarumma, unless he's an Italian shirt. You had one job. One bloody job, Liverpool. And you do that in the last 10 minutes of the game. You breathe life into City. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. Words are failing me at the moment. And do not get me started on Gary fucking Neville. He is a disgrace to broadcasting, a disgrace to Sky, disgrace to United fans. He has so much Man City and anti-Arsenal cock in his mouth, he's going to have jaw ache for months. And I'm sorry if that offends people, but it's the truth and I'm sick of it. We talked about it last time. Again, the way he co-coms it's unprofessional and we pay stupid fucking money for Sky and we get served up that bullshit every week. And joining me today to talk me off my cliff is Kuziva. Kuziva, how are you? How are you doing? Are you annoyed as me?
I'm not on the cliff. I'll tell you that. I'm doing right. I have a bit of a cold, sniffle, trying to recover from that at the start of the week. I'm not too annoyed by the game. It is what it is, but I am definitely quite livid at just how they can allow someone like Gary Neville to do what he does. It's wild. Like, yeah, I get that. I get your anger there. I really do.
Yeah, it's fair. No, okay. But you're okay. Go on. Go on. Yeah, you say you're not. The Neville bit is just because he so wanted City to get back into the game. He just so doesn't want Arsenal to win this season. No matter what he says, it comes out. But anyway, I'm going to forget about that. We talked about him enough last time. We shouldn't be mentioning him at all in this podcast, and I'll try and make it a promise that we don't in the future. But I'm sure I'm going to break that promise in the future. But in terms of the game, Liverpool, 75th minute or so, they go 1-0 up. I mean, they had chances before that. City weren't threatening, but not really threatening. It was sort of, it looks like it was going to be a 0-0, and then all that. And so, why are you not feeling so as annoyed as a lot of people are about the game?
So we woke up today 9 points clear. We're going to bed 6 points. You also need to take into account that Liverpool are shit, right? Like they genuinely are. They've won 6 games since September.
But that's because they won the league in September, so they just took their foot.
So those are the first 3 points. We still are 6 points ahead. Then we also have City's dismal away. Yes, today was an opportunity for City to continue with that really bad away form, but they just played a really bad side. I think was it Bournemouth who beat Liverpool 3-0 at home? Like, this is the team that we expected to stop City. Right, so that's another point. Then the fact that City still don't have, Rodri, you saw him playing. They don't have the Rodri that went unbeaten for 2-3 seasons back. He's currently sitting at like 70% capacity. I don't think that this win will propel them into going on a run. Okay. Because Roddy's he's not going to just change because his hamstrings are like, oh wait, let's go for a winning streak. That's not how physics and biomechanics works. So I think there are a lot of things to think about and look forward to, given what's happening around today and the games today. Credits to City. They, did what they needed to do. But I'm right now, I'm not worried about City. I really am not.
And there is good reason. Well, you've been doing some simulations and running sort of the metrics and stuff, and we will get to that. And I'm sure that's also giving you hope and clarity, unlike myself, who's still just fuming at just, oh my God, just really. But anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is. As you say, we are 6 points clear. And look, I don't want to focus on that. Yes, it would have been nice. Would have been so many moments this season that it would have been nice and fine. We're going to do it the hard way. We don't need your help, Liverpool. So screw you. We'll do it ourselves. And it's just a little bit more of perseverance and pain that we're all suffering at the moment. And but yeah, it is what it is. And look, we will look back primarily at the Sunderland game. We'll also look ahead to the Brentford game on Thursday. And they said Kuziva will be telling us why we're winning the league no matter what happened. Simulation model. So there you go. And before we carry on, if quick favour, if you like what you hear, if you like those sort of pre-pod rants, then give us a nice little 5-star rating. Give us a like, subscribe on the podcast apps, Spotify and Apple, on our YouTube channel at The Grove AFC. Wherever you watch and listen, we'd appreciate it. It helps get into the ears and the eyes of other listeners and subscribers and so on like that, and it does really help. I do notice. So thank you very much for that. And anyway, so let's forget about today. Let's talk about tomorrow. Yesterday, Arsenal 3, Sunderland 0. Zubimendi with 1 goal and Gyökeres with a couple. Before we get onto your highlight, low light, just get onto the sort of the lineup. So it was Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori at the back, Zubimendi, Rice, Havertz in midfield, and Madueke, Trossard and Jesus up front. So still no Saka and Odegaard. Still injured. Still not sure what's going on. But Arteta says they're close. But it was 5 changes from the Chelsea game. Raya in goal, Calafiori at left back, Kai in the mid, Trossard and J9 up front. So practically half a team of rotation, but sort of didn't really feel like it. So what did you think about that lineup? What were your thoughts when you saw that?
I was surprised that Eze didn't get a nod with Odegaard out, but obviously since Kai's been back, it seems like he's finding his feet, especially with Gyökeres playing up front. I think yesterday there was an opportunity to see how that's dynamic would work with Jesus. But besides that, actually not online, I was also surprised by him not starting because he's been doing really well. But I mean, I guess we have the opportunity and option to rotate. And before Calafiori got injured, he was a mainstay in our team. He's such a dynamic, exciting player. But yeah, this is one of the reasons why I think we'll win the league. Like our depth is insane. As you said, it didn't feel like we had changed 5 players. That's insane. That's really insane.
It feels like, I guess if you keep Rice, Zubi, Saliba and Gabriel, you got that box of 4 in the middle. What did you sort of change around it, around the edges? So that's what I was saying. We're used to that rotation around or changes or fitness or injuries and stuff like that. So if you Timber in for White or Timber, Calafiori, Hincapié, or you got Eze, Odegaard, Havertz, Saka, Madueke, Martinelli, Trossard. We're used to that. But if you have that box of 4 in the middle, we can change around it. The only danger is you keep playing that box of 4 in the middle. It's at what point do we? So you have to do at some point have to rotate, and I think obviously we will for the FA Cup game against Wigan. But yeah, it's going to get tougher and tougher to do that, and we need to find moments where we can swap them out. The other thing that seemed noticeable, which was strange given the type of team Sunderland are, was that it seemed like we were, from a size and physicality perspective, but starting with Jesus, starting with Trossard, so it looked like he had these sort of small-sided technical players for a small-sided game, and then we were looking for sort of the more expansive players or the players that can play in large spaces for when the game opened up and so on. So it looked like maybe that was his tactic, sort of like keep it tight, have those technical players, see if we can use them to break open, and then if the game does open up, then Sunderland have to go for it, and it sort of pretty much played out exactly how that was. So that was nice to see. So what was your highlight and low light from yesterday's game?
Highlight was Gyökeres topping the 2026 charts at top goal scorer. That's always nice, especially after the way it started and how people already had him on the chopping block. Low light, Leo Trossard, possible injury. I don't know if you've read any news around that situation. I don't think I've seen anything yet, but he's arguably been one of our best players this season so far. If he's not scoring, he is trying to find a pass and he's holding the ball really well. So that's I'm not happy with. That said, the replacement is Martinelli who assisted with the goal. So it's not too bad. But yeah, that's definitely the low light for me. How about you?
Yeah. Well, no, in terms of Trossard, there's either. Well, I'm hoping it's cramp. But it's just when he goes down, lies down, he's not putting his leg. But it's one of those ones. If it's cramping the calf, then there's that the archetypal leg up, push the toes down and stuff. But this seemed to be in the hamstring area. But he went to the bench rather than down the tunnel. He did a lot of. He chatted to Arteta, chatted to Heinz, and chatted to AirPod Albert and stuff. And I was trying to read. You couldn't obviously hear what they're saying, but I was trying to read the reactions on all the faces, and they were all just very matter of fact. So it's matter of fact of oh shit versus matter of fact, oh, nothing to worry about. There was no nodded head, there was no nothing. I was like, oh, come on, give me some body language to I really looked at that when I was sort of rewatching the game. So it was so it was there we go. And as for Gyökeres, you're right. I think that's 5 Premier League goals since the turn of the year. He's scored across all. Oh no. Yeah. No Premier League player has scored more goals across all competitions than Gyökeres, so that's 5. That's pretty good. And 6 of Victor's 8 Premier League goals have been against like the promoted team. So 3 versus Leeds, 1 versus Burnley, 2 versus Sunderland. So it's good. It's starting to contribute. He's starting to be effective and deliver on a regular basis for me. And I think he's doing what we brought him in for. He wasn't brought in to be the main man in the big games. That was always going to be Havertz until Havertz got injured. But he's doing. But what was our trouble last year was against teams like Sunderland, where we couldn't break them down. We couldn't get that goal. So he's doing the damage. He did it last week against Leeds. Get that all important. Was it the 3rd goal? Got the all important 2nd goal yesterday. And if he's here to. Those games are foundations to title-winning challenges. So it's pleasing for him. Sometimes it just takes a while for players to get up to speed and to get to know their position, for other players to get to know him. And look, if he goes off on a run, for the rest of the season, fair play to him. And he's not aesthetically pleasing. He's a bit clunky around the edges, but if he keeps scoring, who cares?
Yeah, that's true.
So good for him, and good for him. In terms of my highlight, it was Zubimendi's goal. I really liked it on multiple levels. I think it was really smart. It was a lovely weighted pass from Trossard into the space on the edge of the area, because it was vacated, because you could see 2 players going out to Trossard. Zubimendi lets it run across him, and he hits it so sweetly, sort of curling from outside the post to in, and then in off the post. And
perfect shot.
It was, and it was that shape of the ball that made, when it hit the post, it went inside. So that, I think, was great, and the timing of it was perfect. Just before half time, we go into half time with a lead, released a bit of pressure, and it meant something to build on. So I really loved that goal. And Zubi's just been tremendous. He's that's 6 goals he's scored now, 5 in the Prem, and 3 of those have been opening goals. I think Forest at home, Leeds away, Sunderland at home, and getting that opening goal. And if we don't get them through set pieces, is so important. So how did you feel that goal was important, wasn't it? And then how do you feel he performed yesterday?
Yeah, on the point around goals, it seems like he's now, I think, overshot his most goals in a season for club football, which is incredible. It shows you what happens when you move at Arsenal, guys. But no, he had a very Zubimendi type game. Did what he needed to do. I think I am a little bit traumatized by some of his back passes because he is our top lead when it comes to errors leading to goals, and it was patient. He was where he was needed at all times, and topped it off with a really good goal that was needed at the time that we needed to score. And I think I should have said this as a low light too. As much as we won 3-0, we didn't create the chances that we usually create. As Arteta said, and I don't know if you have this in your notes, I'm unhappy with the little that we tried to create through set pieces. So we needed something special, and he gave us something special over and above him just doing what he does best, and that's cleaning.
But yeah, and maybe yesterday was a game there, right? Fine, it forces us to maybe take a few shots from distance, because we had 3 in the first half. I mean, you had the Rice one, and I was right behind that. And as soon as it left his foot, I said in, as it was flying towards goal, I was ready to celebrate. And how did that not go in? That was such an incredible shot. And then Zubi with his shot, and then Havertz as well from the other side. He had a. From the same position, just on either side of the box. And again, his was very close. His reaction showed, how close it was. So maybe it forced us. Okay, well, we can't do anything through the intricate technical players, small-sided play. So forced us, right, let's have a shot. And there was clearly spaces opening on those edges of the boxes, because I said the wingers were taking up 2 players. So then if you can get it inside, I mean, Havertz was more of a run and a shot, but the ones for, I think Zubimendi and Rice is because I think partly because of the wing play and partly because of where the space was. So yeah, sometimes it forces the issues. So if you can't be creative, be speculative. And even if it doesn't go in, might hit a post, might ricochet. So I think that was quite, and I think shots from distance and goals from distance are actually on the up this year, and maybe that's as a result of lots of teams playing low blocks and defending deep. So you've got to find a way.
No, I agree. Yeah. No, go on. Sorry. Yeah, no, I'm just saying I agree 100%.
And now, as for my low light, I'd say having to fret about Saliba being a yellow card from the 26th minute after he did that foul on Diarra. I just thought the way Sunderland were playing, it just felt like this could be like a second yellow or something silly happens, and it was just sort of fretting about that. And I don't know why, because we've been in this position before, and Arteta seems to trust his players to manage themselves, and the other players to help manage them, and we don't get that second yellow, especially this season. And we haven't had a sending off this season. And we're less stupid things are happening from a ref perspective, but I was still feeling a bit uneasy, and I was like, well, at some point, take him off, bring on Mascara. We need him. We can't have him sidelined due to the stupid yellow card. But and on that one, I felt he got a bit too close to Diarra, and he was doing the same with Brobbey, and I think maybe sometimes he's trying to be aggressive and win the ball or no, but maybe sometimes just let him turn and face up to them. Yeah. Or let them bounce the ball back. So, but yeah, there we go.
No, I felt the same way. There are times when I was shouting at the TV saying, you don't have to be this close, dude. You're already on a yellow card. And these are the type of games where, you'll get a stupid red and something bad happens, weird throw in corner goal, and boom, that's the problem. So, look, he managed to hold his own for the rest of the game, but yeah, chill out, dude, when you're on a yellow card.
And look, there was a lot of that yesterday on both sides, but and I think Calafiori also got lucky, got away with 1 or 2 yesterday, and he could have easily been booked. But also Sunderland players, were ragdolling, Jesus, and just being very physical and stuff like that. So maybe I think the Saliba one was obvious. The other ones maybe he's just letting them go. But I think Calafiori for sure was lucky not to get booked as well. But there we go. Okay, so as for the game and the statistics, and this was quite an interesting part, and this was part of that discussion that we were chatting beforehand about what you see at the stadium versus watching it, at home. I could see Sunderland had more possession than I'd wanted, but I didn't realise how much more. And they actually had 51% possession yesterday to our 49. Now, it's what you do with that possession that counts, not just having the ball, and we'll talk about that. Yeah. But and it was 1.49 xG to their 0.19, so you can see they created absolutely zero and nothing of their own doing. Put out of that, we had 16 shots to their 5. We had 5 shots on target to their 3. We both had one big chance. They missed their one big chance. We didn't. So it was and I was just thinking, they did have a lot of possession and more than I was expecting or being comfortable with. I thought they were going to maybe sit deep, bit of a low block, but they did try and play with it. They did try and move the ball, but it was mostly in their own half and in front of us. Yeah, it did look quite neat, but and it was, and especially in the first half. Second half, it was a bit more advanced, but it shows they created very, very little. How did you notice that? Did you feel like, well, hang on, why aren't we? You're expecting that sort of game where they're just going to sit and defend. It's going to be defense versus attack, but yeah, they looked quite smart with the ball.
Yeah, no, they're impressive. I didn't expect how they set up, and as much as there are those stats of possession and these guys moving forward as much as they could, I did feel that we still were in control of the game, even though it didn't entirely look like it. They had their moments. They're very physical. They're direct. They made life a little bit uncomfortable, but I didn't think we were going to lose throughout the game. I think that feeling is important when you have the answers. You feel that all the time. Like, this is not a game where I was worried. Even though when I saw that stats of 52% possession, I was like, okay, let's continue with my life. And I guess the good thing about when a team is doing that and you are in a weird controlled way, you're doing okay, and plan A doesn't work, then plan B comes through, right? And plan B is a long shot from outside the box. Boom, let's go. But yeah, they are where they are for a reason. Very impressed. And I think if they had Xhaka, would have still probably won, but it would have probably been a different game.
Maybe missed a bit of that incisiveness. I'll get on to them in a minute, but they're impressive. I mean, I think for us, in terms of yesterday's game, it was important that we didn't have a hangover from the Chelsea game. Luckily, it was on the Tuesday, so a bit of distance. But it's possible these things, you have that big high, and then you've got to settle back into your bread and butter, as they say. And so we had to put that out of our minds, focus on this. And I think, like you said, uncomfy and stuff. And I think on paper, this should have been a comfy win for Arsenal. Sunderland haven't won away in the last 7. Yeah, they've got one of the worst away records in the league. Okay. Only 2 teams have played more away games at Arsenal in the Premier League without ever winning. That's Southampton with 25 games, Fulham with 18, and then was it Sunderland now with 16 games or 17. We've won 11 and lost none of the last 17 Premier League matches against Sunderland. So it didn't look promising for Sunderland, but that's on paper. And unfortunately, football's played on grass. And they can, I think we alluded to, and we said in the last pod, they can be a very good team. They're doing much better than expected. Are pretty much, already safe from relegation, which would have been their primary objective, but they've become more than that. And they made things very uncomfortable. They're direct, physical, they have pace, they know what they're about, they have a clear game plan and style, and they play to their strength. And as we said, they can play it about a bit. So were you concerned about Sunderland before the game, or was it the fact that, this is not the Stadium of Light, we're at the Emirates, it's chalk and cheese as far as they're concerned, and even if they do make it uncomfortable, we should run out winners.
My prediction was 3-1. I was not concerned about Sunderland. I was not concerned. I think the fact that it wasn't like a proper clean game for us, where we had to grind out a bit, but we still scored 3 open play goals against arguably, I think it's like top 5 defenses in the league. Yeah, no set pieces, just quality from open play. It showed that there was no need to worry yet. If it was a low block Burnley side that is not trying to do anything crazy, would have probably scored a set piece, and it would have been a bit weird and tricky. But I think I would probably be more scared of the low block than what these guys would do. When a team comes at us, we come at them more. That's just how it is.
They didn't. Yeah, they didn't sit back. They didn't sit back as much as we expected. You know, and fair play to them. And they did obviously do 10 men behind the ball at times, and they have to. They're not silly, but they just didn't set out and said, right, we're going to sit here. They did try and create stuff. They did try and maneuver the ball about and try and put pressure onto us. And they had their very clear tactic, of going long and either from open play or when they had free kicks, anywhere in the sort of third way into their own half. If they got a free kick, you'd see it, the goalkeeper would take it, and they'd put everyone on the edge of our box. They had all the big men up there, and they're looking for first ball, second balls, and it's how they scored their goal at the Stadium of Light when it sort of eventually comes to Dan Ballard. So they like to pump it long. I said in open play they're pumping up to Brobby and try and hold on to it, and then play off him. But we handled it. A couple of iffy moments which we'll get to, but I think there were two things that stood out ultimately our quality, our fitness, and options from the bench is what won it in the end, and we won it quite well. And if you look at what happened at the game at the Stadium of Light, we were 2-1 up, but the last 10-15 minutes was crying out to get a forward on, to get someone as a release valve, someone that we could play up to, someone could hold on to the ball, and we had no real options off the bench. We're also towards the end of a long run of play. I think we still had injury to contend with, and we just fatigued out of the game, and actually it was Sunderland that fatigued out of this game, so it's sort of like the contrast between that game and this one, where there they got the equaliser in the last minute. This one we went from 1-0 to 3-0. So just everything was just too much for Sunderland in the end, despite their endeavour.
Yeah.
So in terms of the first half, as I said, they had the majority of possession. There wasn't a lot of, there was 0.36 XG to 0.12, so there was not a lot going on despite our 9 shots and 2 on target. Not a lot created. I think the biggest chance, clearest chance, I think, was a Havertz header in the sort of opening 2 minutes. And then then there was a bit of a scary moment in our box. Raya came for the ball, he caught it, then he came down and hit it off Ballard's head, and it broke to, I think, Brobby, who got a shot off, but Havertz blocked it. Now, I thought this was going in, but subsequently, I don't know, it looked like it was going in the stadium, but I think it was going wide, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was going. I didn't feel. I didn't feel like it was going in that situation. I guess where were you sitting in the stadium? Because
just side onto it. So all I could see was Havertz making a really good clearance. I was like, oh blimey, that was saving a certain goal.
I mean, he made a good clearance, but didn't feel like it was too worrying given the situation.
Okay.
But that's the great thing about our team, and when we're in these situations, it feels like there's always someone there to block. Be it Gyökeres, be it obviously one of the defenders who always do it. That's why I don't worry sometimes in the back, because we literally limit shots.
Well, and also the other thing I saw yesterday was just a lot of good clearances from, particularly by Gabriel, just getting his head to everything, which is nice to see. But not a huge amount. Is it going on? Madueke had when he's had a cross, and the defender sliced it over his own bar, and I was just thinking, own goal really needs to do better there. You need to get that one on target.
I'd say the same thing.
and then we had the Rice shot, a couple of yellow cards. The one tactic they were doing as well, trying to stop Raya from getting the ball out, releasing the ball quick, and eventually, Diarra gets booked for that. Then there was the Brobby yellow when he put his studs down the middle of the shin of Zubi. He only got a yellow. Did you think he deserved more than a yellow for that?
Who was our commentator? Was it Gary fucking Neville?
No. It was 3:00 on a Sunday, so it would have been one of the interns. So 3:00 on a Saturday, I mean.
The reason I say that is because I was like, what do you mean that's... Actually, initially he said, I don't think that's a foul. And I was like, bro, can you watch this? Then he saw the replay, and he said, it's probably a yellow card, but it's a bit soft. And I was like, studs up. on his shin. I've seen reds given for that. So personally, I've seen reds given for that. But I understand that he was in emotion. He was running. No, it didn't seem malicious, but it's still dangerous in my opinion.
Yeah, well, didn't Romero get a red for something earlier in the day for Tottenham against United? I haven't seen that one properly, but that's the one that people are comparing it to. I think it was because he didn't really have much force behind it, so he didn't have the force. It was more brushing down. But again, another one of those orangey cards and so on. So he didn't get it, and there we go. But yes, as you say, we've seen sort of reds for less, shall we say?
Yeah.
And then we get the goal, 43rd minute, as we said, and it was a nice touch for Zubimendi to do the Marino celebration, given that Marino's now out and having surgery, I think, on Monday for his stress fracture of the foot, which sounds like, I don't know, it sounds really weird. In my experience of operations, sounds like a long time to be out to fix a stress fracture like that. So but maybe could the feet, the bones are relatively small and potentially brittle. I don't know, but it just sounds like it seems like quite a long time for a minor surgery, but they know better than me.
Yeah. So I don't know if you read what his dad said. His dad said something along the lines of, there isn't a lot of research. It's a bit of a weird injury. There isn't a lot of research on those types of injuries. So you are right. It's a lot of time, but I think it's just an awkward type of injury, and maybe to your point, very small, bones and delicate situations down there. I've written him off the season because I just don't know, but I hope that it won't be. Yeah, it won't be that case. I hope that hopefully by May he'll be back and he can support us as we.
Well, when in Budapest for the final of the Champions League, yeah. So I wonder what they would have done if it was not a World Cup year. Could they have just basically pumped him with cortisone and just kept him going for the rest of the season? I think that he's fixing it now. I mean, actually, look, we've now become better. We've got the squad. I think we're very good at looking after our players. So I don't think that would have happened. I think they still would have operated, but it would have been interesting to see how different they would have approached it if it wasn't a World Cup year. But it is what it is. We need to. That's why we've got the squad. We've got the likes of Eza there, we've got Havertz now, so we just have to make do, find new solutions as we've done all season. Then we almost got a second. Jesus threw on goal, went round the keeper. Ballard takes him down, so penalty, Dogso. But unfortunately, it was offside. Now his feet were inside his own half, but his shoulder was on the other side of the half. And now, what the fuck? I'm sorry.
That's how it felt. Yeah. That was my thought. I was like, yes, I get VAR when you are not in your half, and you play fine margins. Yeah. But what is the rule around you're still in your half? Like, what is that? So I don't know, man. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, no, but for me, if your feet are in your own half, you're onside. Come on, I mean, okay, your shoulders, but you can't score a goal with your I don't know, but I think the rule, the offside is with any part of the body you can score a goal with. I think I don't know specifically, but this should be like if your feet are in your own, and that's what he did there. He made sure his feet were. I don't know, did he need to be offside? But you're always trying to get every advantage you can. I'm not sure he needed to be off, but I can understand his natural instinct like that. And I'm sure he didn't know the rule specifically, but to me that feels overly harsh. Yeah.
It does.
Fine if you're in their half and that's offside, but if your feet are in your own half, come on. But again, we didn't get the decision. It was a fact. He was offside according to that rule, and so there we go. So all of the above gets chalked off, and they get a nice free kick. See, they get a really good free kick for them in attacking position right on the halfway line. Oh, and this other thing happened yesterday. The referee was fine, but they took a free kick for offside in our half. I'm like, that's impossible. And the ref just let him play. It was like a good 10 yards forward. A moot point, but it was like, come on. They're stealing a few meters and there's taking a free kick for offside in the opposition. Yeah, anyway, that was just a little bugbear of mine. And then in the 47th minute, Havertz has his curler, which again, unfortunately goes wide. But we go 1-0 up. We're 1-0 up, going at half time, makes the team talk easier. We can all settle down. We're a good second half team and build on the lead. And I don't think it changed a lot for Sunderland. Look, you know, I'm sure they came for a draw. I think they would come around and be happy for a draw. So I guess they're not going to change. But it's the typical thing that, let's keep it tight and let's see if we can get something 20 minutes to go. A bit like the Liam Ross in your modus operandi in terms of attacking Arsenal. Let's do nothing when we need a goal until the last 20 minutes. And they go, see how that works out for you. But there we go. But then, was it a chance for Sunderland? There was a couple of chances for Sunderland. In the 49th minute, Ryan made a really good save. I think there was a curler sort of from the edge of the box. You'd expect him to make it, but still dangerous. And then I have no idea what happened. Somehow the ball goes over the top. Ryan comes out, and there's a melee of players, and somehow we clear it. But I think Ryan slices it. But yeah, that was a bit nervy.
Sorry, I was about to sneeze. Yeah, that was a bit nervy. But I guess we managed to move forward. Yeah, actually, the beginning of that first half was a bit.
Second half
was it was a bit sus, and we managed to get through that. I won't call it an onslaught, but I'm glad that we managed to get through that without conceding a goal, because it would have made it a bit more difficult, because sometimes you do want a halftime chat. And when you're already losing, when you're tied, it's harder to do that on the side of the pitch.
Yeah, but it just felt a bit edgy, I don't know, unnecessarily, and just sort of like, okay, let's not let them back in. But it just felt a bit weird. And there seemed to be just a couple of moments from Rare, and I know the drop ball in the box wasn't particularly his fault, but it happened. Some of his distribution, he was sort of kicking the ball long, go straight to the keeper, and then it was just one of those odd things that you're just waiting for the ball to break to the Sunderland player running through, and all our Arsenal players on one side of the ball and the Sunderland players onto an open goal. But luckily, it didn't happen, and then the subs came, which made the biggest difference for the day. So Martinelli and Gyökeres come on in the 60th minute for Jesus and Madueke. They'd done their jobs. They'd tired the Sunderland players. Over to you. And then Gyökeres gets his first goal. And this was like, Trossard was just tormenting whoever's down there right-hand side, just sort of playing with the ball in front of him. He makes a lovely pass to Havertz, who'd made a nice run. I think Hume kept him on side. We were initially there. I didn't see him. So when he scored, when Gyökeres scored, that's going to be offside for Havertz. And then, when you look on the replay, the guy kept him miles on, and then Gyökeres does the rest. He even lying on the ground, he can hit the ball bloody hard. So it's just a striker's finish, right? He's proud of goals. He's seeking missile. He's going to score. I said it earlier when I was worried about in my low lights. Leo, he assaulted that guy on the left side. Honestly, right hand side. It was fun for him. And also just having Kai back gives us a more attacking minded, like left eight or midfielder. But right is great. We got him half price, but Kai thinks very differently to any of our other midfielders. So him in that position, I'm not surprised. And easy assist. Might have to add him to my APR. He's looking good. I was just trying to watch. It's not that he does anything spectacular throughout the game, but just I think his sheer presence, his height and physicality in defense and attack just helps. I think he just does things very simply, and he always just seems to be there if you need him. If you want, I'm here. He's like very unassuming type player. Then all of a sudden, Havertz is there. I've got an option. Oh no, there's someone just made a really nice run, and the chat in the group, or a little bit of chat, was like, again, it always goes here, and I hate these sorts of chats. We have to have a serious conversation about Odegaard. Well, no, he's just. For me, Odegaard, we're going to need him. He's an important player. He is our captain still of the club. So and he will do good things for us. He's just different, and different games require different things. But maybe he doesn't fit a midfielder with Rice and Zubimendi and Odegaard. Maybe that isn't a working midfield. I don't know. What were your thoughts on that when that sort of starts getting talked about?
I switch off quickly. I like comments. I like to push back. You've seen me comment. My favorite noise in the group was when two people in the group said City was going to go on an unbeaten streak. This is like 10 games ago. And anyways, it doesn't matter. I like to comment, but when that comes up, I just keep quiet, because I think if anyone truly believes that, you're not looking at this in its totality. You're not looking at this holistically. You're looking at a singular moment, one opportunity, one game stage, and he's saying he's not good enough. This guy is the captain of his team, he's the captain of the national team. He's been on the world stage since he was 14 years old. He's very talented, and you can see people respect him, and I don't have time for that. I don't have that energy.
No, I think look, we were when he came on against Leeds, he was superb, and really enjoyed the performance. So yeah, we'll find a role for him. He'll find a role, and teams find themselves throughout the season, and it is really, and teams change, and people get injured, and we'll see. So yeah, we're going to be relying on him. Really enjoy having Odegaard, and we'll see. At the moment, we're having a good time with Havertz. Havertz is not going to play all the games of all the minutes. He'll maybe play up front. So let's just see. And look, it was very clear after we got that goal, it sort of took the wind out of Sunderland. They started to look proper tired after that goal, not the stuffing out of them. They didn't have the same energy as before, and our job was to not give them any lifelines, not to give them any energy. And I think we did a pretty good job of just shutting that down. And look, we made a couple more substitutions. Yeah, Calafiori, who I think had a bit of an off game. I think he was a bit rusty after coming back sort of from injury, but it was good to just get some minutes in his leg. Hincapié came on and provided a bit of forward thrust, and then Havertz off again, still managing his minutes. Eze came on, who had a nice little cameo. And then we had a few little chances. Martinelli almost found Rice, who you just would not stop running yesterday. He's just like, all right, chill, relax, man. it's fine. We're winning 2-0. Eze had a shot. Then we had Trossard going off. And Norgard came on. And then, the game was winding down. We're thinking, 2-0. And go, oh, great, my predictions coming through. Looking nice for the predictions table. But it also said to Simon next to me when 6 minutes came up, like it did against Chelsea, oh, great, time to get another. And so we did. Brilliant work from Martinelli on the break. He sort of the ball was sort of released quickly from defence, I think, after attacking possession from Sunderland, maybe a cross into the box, and he beats Ronaldo to the ball. Ronaldo was one of those ones, do I go to it, do I not? And he did neither. So Martinelli gets away, and he's charging through, and it was really good for Gyök to stay up with him. So Martinelli, fresh legs, it's rapid, and Gyökeres kept up with him, and lovely. And I thought actually Martinelli messed it up initially, but actually it was a perfectly timed pass, onside, second goal for Gyökeres, 3-0 for sure. Game's over, icing on the cake, nice for the goal difference. And then they do their funny Gyök on the floor Bane celebration, and Nelly doing his see no evil.
I love that goal, because when you see Martinelli in that situation, he honestly does not make mistakes. He's so good and controlled when it comes to managing, like, I guess, being the last man, running away and getting an opportunity. So now, as much as his pass is perfectly timed, there was also, Gyökeres also, like, he shimmied, like, paused for a split second. I think that's also a good signing of a good showing of a striker who knows how to stay on side, right? But I'm big fan of Martinelli doing what he did, and with what's his name, with Trossard possibly out, it's good to know that our Champions League top goal scorer is still king.
Yeah, it seems to do really well in these sort of these roles with 20 minutes left when teams are tired, when there's space. That seems to be his perfect role at the moment. We've seen him score goals. He start for from early in the season, like, away to Bilbao, we had that period, he had the goal against City. Yeah, he is a great threat for these, and even was it against Chelsea, I think he was keeping up with, was it Gyökeres or Martinelli that was keeping up with Havertz for the Chelsea goal? It was Martinelli. So he's a fantastic option to have, and he seems to perform better in that role. Half an hour to go against tired legs when there's maybe a more open space. He's a great asset to have. So, and his energy, his defensive work, I think everyone's flip flopping between let's cash in at the end of the season to we should really keep on to this guy, and it's funny. There's a lot of players that like have good moments, then suddenly low moments, good moment, and it's sort of dovetailing with other people. So we just need to find that sweet spot. Is that we make changes just as the players about to have a bit of a down moment. But there we go. It normally happens is play well as subs, start not so good. Back to the bench, play well.
I was Leo for a long time, and now look, he's playing well all the time. I love it.
Yeah, again. So look, he was desperate to get on the score sheet. I think there was a couple of chances late on that he tried to manufacture for himself, but yeah, nothing doing. And we ground Sunderland down with our quality and pace and power and skill. So, and it was game over. No set piece goals, no own goals. Big Vic scoring twice. What the haters going to hate upon now is like, boring Arsenal scores 7 goals in 2 games, 3 open play goals yesterday. It's not looking good. So
it's not looking good. Man, are you telling me I should be worried? Come on.
Not at all. And there's some funny stats. 19% of Arsenal's open play goals this season have come against Sunderland. 5 out of 27. There's another the Gunners are unbeaten in their last 44 home games against promoted teams. Since defeat by Newcastle in September 2010. So we've won 39, drawn 5, and we've won the last 15 in a row, which is incredible. That's pretty good. And talk about being a second half team. Yeah, we've scored 31 goals in the second half, which is the most, and we've conceded 11, which is the fewest. So yeah, we are a good second half team. We went 9 points clear at the top for about 24 hours. It was the first time since the final day of the 2003-04 title winning campaign. So maybe that's a good omen. And yeah, let's see. And Mikel Arteta said on passing the test, he's a very happy afternoon, a really tough game. It's a tough opponent, and they made it really difficult for us. We scored a beautiful goal, the first one with Zubi, and that helped to unlock the game. But you always have the feeling against them that you don't have really a game dominated, because they can really break a rhythm. They're really good in what they do, how they make the pitch so big, and they have a really powerful and physical players to hold the ball and to turn your press, and then to start to attack you from set pieces or restarts. And then the subs again become critical. The way we finished the game with the players that they came in, it was wonderful to watch. So yeah, he pretty much summarised what we've just been saying over the last 48 minutes, but without having a go at Gary Neville. So any other players that stood out for you yesterday? Any other performances?
I mean, you mentioned it earlier, Gabriel. He was just clearing everything. Timber, another day in the office doing what he does. Gyökeres, I don't know if I'm noticing it more now because it's Game Week 26. We've played like 35 games in all comps. He seems a little bit like out of breath, but he was just as busy as usually is. Like, we have such a talented midfield. I'm so excited to see these guys win something shortly. But my big call out has to be Gabriel. I was hoping that with Madueke coming in for Saka, something was going to happen, something special was going to happen. He started very positive, but yeah, it just didn't click.
Yeah, a bit hit and miss yesterday. Yeah, no, that's right. So I think he always looks knackered, but he just seems to gain more and more energy in the game. I mean, that partnership with Zubimendi is superb. Like, the double pivot, if they do that, or whatever it is that they do. Rice was everywhere. He's such a great reading of the game. The energy levels, and also I think even though I think Big G is the captain, he was the one really talking to everyone, telling everyone where to be. Yeah. He was doing a real job in terms of leadership on the pitch. And look, I'm not having the whole captain debate. I don't two shits who's captain. You know, he will do it irrespective with wearing an armband or not. But the way he's sort of leading the team, talking to players that you need to be here, you need to come in here, and he was doing a lot of that. Yes, they definitely noticed that. And the partnership with Zubi, who's sort of, Rice is all energies everywhere and stuff like that. Zubi's calm, secure, controlled. It's got the end product, defensively very good, and so between those two, it's an incredible partnership, and it's long may it continue. So we played 25, scored 49, which is the second best in the league, so not bad for a boring team. Let in 17, so goal difference for plus 32 on 56 points. Man City now played 25 too. They scored 51 but let in 24, so they've got plus 27, so it's 5 goal difference. So in my head, the calculation is that we can lose 2-0 at the Etihad and we'll still have a better goal difference and we'll only be 3 points down. So that's my calculating. So, but that's a long way off. And Aston Villa, let's not forget about them. Man United now are the ones somehow, again, another team finding some competency. They're in 4th on 44 points. Chelsea on 5th on 43. Now Liverpool 6th on 39, the same points as Brentford and the same goal difference. That's incredible. And they're only 2 points above Everton, 3 against Sunderland, and 5 on Fulham in 10th. So come on then, tell me why we're winning the league. What does your Predictatron 2000 suggest? Take me through your simulator.
It's predicted on 2006, but
2026.
I'm playing. Before I touch on that, I didn't realize that. So we shouldn't be annoyed. The people who really should be annoyed should be Liverpool fans, because
absolutely, they needed the win.
They had Everton 2 points away from them. That is, that's not our problem. That's their problem. So the last few game weeks, started game week 10. The sample size was too small. I built out a Monte Carlo simulation model that basically, Monte Carlo simulations are usually about 1,000 to 10,000 different simulations. So how it works is you have a bunch of different variations and variables. You throw them into this model. It then spits out, different scenarios of what are the chances, given the question you asked, like what are the chances of Arsenal winning the league? I didn't stop at 10,000. I went to 100K because anxiety. And basically what I learned through the last 4 or 5 months is I have a problem. And then
apart from that, that's fine. It's fine. Our listeners appreciate your problem.
And then also structurally, our system has been really, really good. So we're currently sitting at a 91% chance of winning the league, even after the City win. If you look at the market odds, and that's what makes me so happy about the simulation that I've created. It's pretty closely aligned to what the bookmakers are saying and the Opta analysts, supercomputers saying. So we're sitting at a 91% touch probability, and there's no realistic no realistic scenario where City can go on a 14-game unbeaten streak. And I know people will be like, oh no, City just won today. It's really exciting. They could just wake up like what they've done before. In the last, 20 years, City and Liverpool have had the longest winning streaks. But then the big difference between those winning streaks and what could potentially happen this time, which would definitely not happen, is City had people like KDB, they had people like Kyle Walker, they had people like Julian Alvarez coming off the bench. This team is going through a transition, and it'll go get there because Pep is Pep, and people like Haaland have won the treble, but it's not the same City that we've seen before, right? So that's 2 points. Our structure and our system is effective, and we get through things. Our current XP points, so XP points is the expected points. I know Dan, I don't like it, but
no, it's fine.
When you look at an entire league season, and when you look at multiple seasons, it usually is quite accurate. And we're currently sitting at 56, which is exactly where we are. City sitting at -2 of their current XPTS. So that shows us that we are doing exactly what we need to do. This is not luck. This is a system that works and that works effectively. Any questions before I continue?
No. So what's our expected points tally towards the end of the season?
So we're sitting at like about 84.
Okay.
And that's...
I feel like we need 86, but 84. Okay.
Oh, we do. But let me tell you, the expected points for City for the end of the season is 75. And
wow, okay. Oh, then we only need 76 then. Fuck it.
Every time I ran that, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is not it. I would say to my LLM, be conservative.
Large language model.
Yeah. I'll say don't try appease me. Be objective. Don't try be nice to me, because I just couldn't believe that City could only, the XPTS, and this is not just my model, it's other models around the world, is 75, 76 points. But when you look at City's away game form, if you take out today's game was a weird anomaly, simply because Liverpool's really shit. But when you look at City's away form, it's worse than Everton. They're currently sitting at 6th. We saw what happened last week against Tottenham, who are arguably one of the worst sides in the league right this season. So because of how bad their away form is, the predictions feel like it's not their season, because they're just not consistent enough. They're not very, like, a game like this wouldn't have happened with us simply because we are controlling the game. Right. Next weekend they're playing Fulham at home. They've got a really good home form, but we'll see in that game, if they don't score 3 or 4 goals and win convincingly, there'll be a lot of variance across that entire game, because that's where City is right now. It's just a very random team. That's it.
So what are you pumping into the model to give you those numbers, that prediction, that 91% certainty that we're going to win the league? What sort of statistics and metrics are you using?
So I've looked at about 35 variables, including our squads, our players' stats. So not just like average goals and assists, but also looking at how they pass, our progressive carries, looking at how we defend. I've also put in VAR and how VAR has affected the season so far. So there've been, I think, 11 wrong VAR calls this season, according to some articles that I've gone through and read. I've also looked at, fatigue. I've looked at how the number of games that both City and Arsenal have will affect them in the later rounds. So the crunch time in April, that's a big thing that you can't ignore. I've also looked at the fact that we're playing City in the Carabao Cup final, on the 22nd of March. That could be a psychological shift. I've looked at the number of teams that have bottled a lead before, since the beginning of the Premier League, which is 1992. I don't know if you guys know this. The worst ever bottle was Newcastle.
Yes.
When they were like 12, 14 points ahead.
Well, that was Kevin Keegan. Yeah, we all know about that. Yeah, exactly. So,
And on that point, actually, when I did a pattern analysis on the bottling, what I learned was with Arsenal, it's not a matter of, they're just not good enough. It's things that you can quantify. It's things like the squad is just immature. They don't have a big enough squad. Psychologically, they haven't gotten there before. Or there was a 2-game City had 2 games in hand. I think going back to these last few hours, everyone said Arsenal has 9 games. I mean, we had 9 points. We 100% had 9 points. But you can't discount a game in hand, because a game in hand means that it could mean that they win or not, right? So I looked into that. I looked into injuries. City have lost Gary Neville, who's a big part of their defense, but they do have Ruben Diaz back. And to be fair, he played a really good game today. I also looked at our squad, compared our squad to our squad in 2022-23 season, and compared City squad to that season. City squad, unreal. Actually, it was very depressing seeing this. Unreal. Seeing their caliber during that time, players that won 4 or 5 Premier Leagues. They'd been to the semi-finals or final of the Champions League. And when you have a team like that wins and is used to winning, it's good. It helps. But then when you look at our team now, we have winners. They might have not won together, but we have Nkapia, who's been is an actual invincible. We've got Rice, who's literally won the UEFA Conference League with also a really shitty team. Yurin Timber has won 2 league titles in Holland, in the Netherlands. And we also have Mikel Arteta, who is part of the dynasty team that basically went to 99 points and 98 points. I don't know how people discount the fact that we have a manager who's been part of a system that has dominated the league.
Yeah, it's funny. They forget they've got players like, X has been there, Y's been there. Well, Arteta's been there as well. So, but not as a manager. But obviously he's seen it. So, okay, but then there's a 9% chance we don't win the league. And I guess the one variable. I mean, there are so many variables and intangibles as well. I think the mental aspect of it is the one that it's hard to pump into these. So all the statistics, all the trends, all the data points and stuff like that is being able to, in the heat of the moment, being able to do that. But again, let's see. So again, we're still in a very good position. We could be actually 3 points ahead by Thursday. Jeez.
Tabs, on that point though, like you can't, qualitative data that's hard. You can't just quantify the mental aspects. But when you look at it, when you look at your son, right? Shout out to boy. You know that 2 years ago he wasn't as mature as he is now, right? Yeah. That's life, and we've seen these guys grow up in this team. We've seen them improve. They are better physically. So mentally, I'd like to assume that they are better. Mentally, some of these guys even have kids now, so they probably look at life differently. So as much as I can't put that into a data point, it is something that it is a variable that I said, let me throw this into the system.
Did you do strength of schedule for the remainder of the season?
Yeah, I did strength of schedule, made sure that we looked at all the games that we've played, looked at home and away tables, and then Arsenal versus their last 13, 14 games, and then same with City. This game, honestly, even our gamblers were saying this is a 100% Liverpool game. I mean, Liverpool win. It should remind me that data is not everything. Like football, this is why I do not bet, because it's so random. But the fixture list also plays a big part in I guess how this model interprets our 91%.
Okay.
I think I'm excited. I'm very hopeful. If City does something, I think our system, the actual system of Arsenal, is too good for us to lose out.
It won't be City doing something. It'll be us not doing something. Something along the lines, or maybe a combination of both. But I don't want to think about that. Look, 56 points. You're saying 84, so that's 9-10 wins away.
Yeah. We can afford. You said in the group the one day we can afford to lose maybe 1 or 2 games and draw one and still in the league.
Okay. And one of those games coming up is Brentford. But before we get to that, I'll just quickly do your 3-word reviews. But thank you for that, Kuziva. That's given me a little bit of hope, but I'm still just really annoyed about today. So it just feels like this whole season we have that chance just to put on, and this one wasn't our fault. We did our job. As Liverpool did do that fucking job. You just feel we had that the chance, 9 points. But maybe I think it's a good thing. Like losing to Man United was actually one of the better things that could happen. If we drew that game, it would have been swept under the carpet. We carry on. Actually, maybe losing it makes us right. We're not doing that again. Refocus, and maybe we don't want to get too comfortable. I think maybe where the comfort comes in is maybe you can think differently about your squad. You can think differently at the games, or you can you want to take the City game out of the equation. I think that's the one at their head he had, but maybe it's not going to be like that. And maybe we need to go there and get a result. They aren't that good. We can beat them. They can be competent. They showed up and showed that they can be competent, but there wasn't anything special today. There wasn't anything particularly brilliant about them or anything to fear. So, they were mildly competent, but that defense is gettable. So it would be nice to take that out of the equation. If we went there with 9 points, clear, that's fine. Take it out of the equation. Okay, 6 points and you go on from City. But hey, football's not like that. It's just not going to be easy. And maybe this is just the way we're going to have to do it, and we're going to appreciate it even more at the end of the season. So let's see. Again, 13. Well, let's hope it's 15 cup finals. Well, it is 14 cup finals and maybe another one. And maybe, I'm losing count here. But anyway, there's a lot of cup finals. Every game's a cup final, plus the Carabao, plus the FA, and plus the Champions League. That's what I'm saying, if you didn't realise. Anyway, on to your 3-word reviews. Thank you for sending those through. And again, as always, apologies if I get your name and handle wrong. Just not very good at reading. All right, anyway, on to Blue Sky. Sid Silk, B Sky Social, Open Play FC, correct. Nessie 70, Set Piece, what? Yeah, indeed. Haters. Die Mike Shaft, underpaid for Gyök. That's a nice one. And Mr. C. Laguna, great squad performance. Yeah, definitely one for the squad yesterday. Right. Threads. Now, actually, Paul Latham Digny 18. He didn't even wait for me to put the call out. He's so used to me sending this out. He got in early, so I had to find this one. Gunners Mackham light work. So I don't know if you know that the Sunderland are known as the Mackhams. So no, well there you go. I could tell by the look on your face where you didn't understand that one. I got that one. Sam 13 Jaws 3 points closer. We are. Chapper's Delight, boom. Shaka lacking. I like that. Narkovitz, victory is ours, and that's victory spelled with a K, not a C. Jazzgar 123, Big Slick Vic. Yep. Daniel James Photos, Open Play Kings. Yep. One for the haters again. Deschamps Gills, now we're purring. Yeah, as I said, we're 90% sure of purring even more throughout the season. So Nicky Guna 06, nice seeing Shaka, but luckily it was only in a coat and as a bench warmer. Well, he wasn't even on the bench. I think he was just there for the ride. And there was a nice little bit with him and Arteta at the end of the game having a bit of a chat, which looked quite interesting. Cranny Tran Cran, a double mask Selly. Yeah, it was. Ruland, 9 points clear. Not anymore. Tim Kinter, 3 beautiful goals. Greavy Cathers 2, brace for Victor. Rob Wilkins, done the job. The Ninolam, winning ways again. Yeah, we're on a good run. And maybe, look, I'm thinking 4 last week, 3 this week. Could be, was it 22, 23, 24? I can't remember which season was it. 22, 23 or 23, 24? We were in on that nice run after Christmas and we scored stupid amount of goals. So let's hope we started that. Danny Mast, Big Victor Gyökeres, Tanya Savla, Get It Done indeed, and Devoted Pavement, what a great name. Set Piece, ? Nope. And on TikTok, Keep the Faith. Yeah, after your speech on the 90% Monaco stipulation, I'm keeping the faith. James Mackay 1 for 5, can't beat leaders. No, they can't. And then Moz on the Grove WhatsApp group. Let me predict, Moz is complaining that because I said he kept on saying the same score every time, he decided to change. Have some conviction with your predictions. Don't let me change your mind. Daljit, Gyökeres for Golden Boots. Yeah, he's got a way to go, unfortunately. And you came along with thanks for coming. So nice and patronising to Sunderland. Well done. And I went for comfortably uncomfortable win. So thank you for sending those in. Appreciate it. And we'll put a shout out after we play Brentford on Thursday evening, 8:00. And as you know, I'm sort of as you know, some you may, some may not know, I'm a member at Brentford. I've got friends who are Brentford members, season ticket holders. And I got one of them, Tony Robinson, to leave a bit of voice note on his thoughts on Brentford and the game and what he predicts. So I'm going to drop that in right here.
Good evening, Arsenal fans. This is Brentford fan Tony here, invited back to your podcast to give you some thoughts ahead of Thursday night's match against title contenders Arsenal. I'm freshly back from Newcastle, literally got home about 9 hours ago, so feeling a little bit tired, but absolutely delighted with the 3 points, which has been the latest in a string of really good performances from Brentford. We got an excellent 3 points away at Villa last weekend when we were down to 10 men, put on a brilliant defensive display, and we showed the other side of our game yesterday, and I felt we really outplayed Newcastle. So I'm hoping we can bring both of those sets of qualities into the game on Thursday and really give Arsenal a good match. It's going to be tough, but Brentford have been in a really good run of form lately. And even against Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge a couple of weeks ago, I felt we outplayed them. We lost the game 2-0, but we were really unlucky to not come away with anything at all. I felt a draw would have been unfair, but that's the way it goes sometimes. In terms of Brentford's team selection for Thursday night, I'm really finding this one difficult to call. The last time I was on here was to talk about the game at the Emirates in April 2025. And I was confident of the team selection, very confident of the system as well. But I would say that this game, we will probably almost certainly be playing a back four for the first time. And in any other game since we've been in the Premier League, we would have been playing a back five, home or away against Arsenal. So I think it'd be a more front-footed back four, and even the personnel that we're going to pick for that back line are difficult to call. The last couple of games, we've had Sepp van den Berg and Christoph Ajer in the central defensive positions. Christoph Ajer's been getting quite a few matches at centre-back in a back four, which is something Thomas Frank never really did much, but Keith Andrews is really keen on, and he's been playing really well there. Nathan Collins would generally be the choice starter, but he's been injured. He picked up a bit of a knock in training a couple of weeks ago, although that didn't stop him from playing when we reverted to a back five against Everton, against Villa, but when we really needed to strengthen the defence when we went down to 10 men. In the midfield, we'll probably have a couple of enforcers in there to try and break up Arsenal's midfield possession, so I can't see Vitaly Janelt not starting the game, and I imagine Yarmolenko could start, or maybe Henderson will, or they'll be interchanged, which is what happened yesterday against Newcastle, so maybe one of them will come on. Jensen, he's really back to his old self, been playing really well, so I can't really see him being dropped, but I think Damsgaard might start. He might be found to have a place in the attacking three, probably with Dango Atara and Thiago as well. Maybe KLP will be left out. Very, very difficult to call how this one's going to go. So I'm hoping it's going to be a really good game. And Brentford just continue to put in good performances, because win or lose, performing well, there's really got a good mood within the camp. Keith Andrews is really using the squad thoroughly, so it's very difficult to call the team selections. So we'll see what happens. In terms of a prediction, well, I got this one right last time and Andrea got it wrong. I thought it was going to be a score draw, and that was away at the Emirates. So I don't want to jinx Brentford's good form and be brazen enough to predict a win, although obviously that's what I hope for, but I think I'll go for the same again, a score draw, and we'll see how that turns out. But I hope it's an entertaining game. It should be a great night under the lights. It's a real opportunity for Brentford to further their credentials for a finish towards the top part of the table, and we'll see what happens. So enjoy it, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you, Tony, for that. I appreciate the comments. Very, very sensible. And we had a bit of a chat afterwards on just on the text, and they feel it might be, given their last two results, like, beating Newcastle last night, crazy, and then beating Villa away with 10 men. This one might be seen as a bit of a free hit. They got some expected points, and so maybe they can approach this one differently. He also mentioned that they might change their usual formation, or they might stick with the formation that they usually played with. They've been playing recently with four at the back rather than when they face Arsenal normally five. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But he's not pessimistic. He's looking forward to an enjoyable game, and I think what will be will be. But for us, it's another big, important, potential difficult game. What are you looking forward to? Not looking forward to as far as the Brentford game on Thursday is concerned?
Honestly, I hadn't thought about this. I don't know why, but I'm not looking
Everyone's focused on bloody Liverpool, Man City.
Yeah. And my Monte Carlo
simulation. Where's your Monte Carlo simulation and say we're going to win?
Yeah. So not looking forward to Brentford is not a bad side. They're doing quite well this season. And the last few games. I know they lost the last game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they lost their last home game 2-0 to Forest. And that was like, Tony said that was just a Deutsch ball. They go 1-0 up and hard to break down. So a bit like we found out when we played them, sort of thing. Yeah.
So that's the only thing. They're doing all right. They're in the table. Sorry, they are weighing the table where they are for a reason. And then looking forward to, I think, just very basic, simple. Let's continue soldiering on. Let's continue winning. You know, even if it's an Owen goal. Shout out to you, Owen. I don't care. Like, people are scared of City run. Let's do the run. Like, let us be that team that goes for a run. Right. So easy peasy. I want to win. That's my looking forward to.
And not looking forward to?
The fact that Brentford are a good side.
Well, I'm looking forward to the fact that, well, sort of, this is an odd one. I'm sort of looking forward to it. I'll be going undercover. Because sitting unfortunately with the Brentford fans, but I'm in the literally next to the Arsenal fans. So I'm looking forward to being there, but it's always an odd experience. I'm going to have to literally sit on my hands for the whole game, humming the Arsenal chants, and not being able to react to anything Arsenal do. And I've done this a couple of times, and it's a very weird experience. You can't engage with the game emotionally and stuff like that. But I want to see it, and look, there's always a good see and stuff like that. So and look, it's fine if you say that again.
Do you have an extra ticket? I'll
No, unfortunately not. I don't. But I'm not looking forward to having to pretend to be happy if and when Brentford score. Like, you got to stand up. Well done. You know. And oh shucks, we scored another goal last night. You know, whatever. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be an easy one. So it could be a bit nervy. But yeah, last year I think we won 3-1. The year before that we won I think 3-0. So it's not been. Apart from that first game when they came back and we were that Friday night after COVID and everyone's dancing and Neville and Carragher and blah 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 and look, we were hit by COVID and we had a bit of a raw defence and just wasn't our day, and well done to Brentford for that. But since then, we've been pretty good at their play. So how do you think we're going to approach this game, and what sort of what do you think in terms of the lineup?
So I think we'll be starting Gabriel at the back, and we'll keep everyone else the same. The Zubi, Rice, Joe continue pushing doing what they do. Are Brentford physical? I know that they are quite direct, but are they a physical? Was it that then I guess dictates if it's Kai or?
Well, okay, so they're a big unit at the defense. They've got some big units up there, like Thiago is big and fast, and Altara is big and fast, and they've got some big defenders, maybe Janelt. So no, not physical in the way Sunderland are, but that sort of thing. But they have a bit of physicality, a bit of pace. The way they like to play is direct. They like to play on the counter, get the ball up front quick, turn the other opposition, play out wide. And just break with pace. They may not be the most technically adept team, so it'll be, I'd say, similar-ish to Sunderland. Yeah. They're going to be missing Sharda because he got sent off against Aston Villa, and he so he's been one of the main front three with Altara and Thiago. So I think they can be quite physical in defence and quite powerful up front. It's a good counter. So I think, look, there's plenty of recovery time between Saturday and Thursday, so that shouldn't be an issue. And we've got Wigan from the First Division in the FA Cup on the Sunday, and that will be a fully rotated team. Yeah. So I think we need to go big. Even I wouldn't be surprised if White played rather than Timber. I thought White would actually play against Sunderland rather than this game, but if Timber's fine, then Timber, Saliba, Big G. Maybe Calafiori again. He had his rusty game. It depends if you want to take it to them. The only question mark is, can Havertz start another game. Again, I don't know how much we need to balance him out. So whether we go Enza, Zubi, Rice, maybe Havertz up front, I don't know. It's a tough one, but I think I would like to see Gyökeres up front, Madueke, and Trossard. No, I'd say Trossard again. Nelly, come on later on. It's a tough one. It's a tough one, but if it was me, I'd go Raya, Timber, Saliba, Big G, Calafiori, Havertz, Zubimendi, Rice, Madueke, Gyökeres, Trossard.
And that's if Trossard's fit, right? Sorry for
that. Yes, I forgot. Yes, if Trossard's fit, then possibly. Then I'd like to maybe see Eza there, and again have Nelly on the bench, have Jesus on the bench. Yeah, a lot of it relies on fitness of Trossard. But then we also might have Saka and Odegaard back. We don't know. It's just so hard to tell. But the basic premise is we go strong. Go strong. And look, as you said, Brentford are doing really well under their new manager Keith Andrews. I think a lot of people expected him to struggle when Frank left, Mbeumo left, Wissa left. Newcastle fans are going, we pay 55 million for Wissa? Bloody hell. But it's Frank who's struggling. But I think it's because they've got a really good coaching system set up. They've got good structure, good set of players. They keep finding good centre forwards. Thiago's 17 Premier League goals this season already. Incredible. Atara as well. But their home form, played 12, won 7, drew 3, lost 2, scored 23, let in 12. So, fairly, 2-1 there. Away is a bit different. They won 5, lost 8, they haven't drawn any. It's like a lot of these teams. Their away form is a bit shoddy apart from the last couple of games. They're lying 7th, equal points and goal difference to Liverpool. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, one interesting fact is that Brentford have been awarded the most penalties in the Premier League this season, and we've not given away a penalty yet this season. So let's see how that one does. But yeah, last 4 games, I said they won the 2 away games, lost at home to Forest. They lost 2-0 to Chelsea, but that's a game they should never have lost.
Of course, you'd say that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no. As in, I remember, Chelsea got away with it. It's not. I like Brentford. I'm no particular fan of it, but I like them. But and look, we played them in December. We beat them 2-0. They played with a back 5, back 3. But it's likely, he said, they're going to play with a back 4, so I'll be interested to see how that works out. But Marino scored early in that, about the 10th minute, but then Raya makes a really good save at 1-0, and it wasn't until the 91st minute that Saka scored that we really secured it. But then again, I looked back and looked at the team, looked at the highlights. We had White, Mosquera, Hincapié, Calafiori as our back 4, and Marino up front. So it was peak injuries. Yeah. So how do you see this one going? What do you fear for? I mean, they've got Macclesfield in the FA Cup on the Monday, so they're going to go big. So yeah, how do you see this one? See this one going?
So I think we'll win. I think we'll either win. This is shit. I was going to say either win comfortably or not. No, I think we'll win. I think it'll be relatively comfortable. I know that they'll be doing all right, but also let's remember that part of the reason why they lost to Aston Villa is because Aston Villa has been absolutely overshooting their performance, their XG. What's happening to Aston Villa right now is exactly what is expected. Like, they're going to continue dropping. I'm not surprised by that. Then Newcastle's home form is like 10th in the league, I think. Usually these guys are good at home. This season they've just not been. So again, like, not surprised by that. So those 2 games that they won were a little bit of, I'm not going to call them anomalies, but honestly, if you look at the games, if you look at how Villa's played in the past, if you look at Newcastle at home this season, you shouldn't be surprised by Brentford winning. Which means that we should also, in that said, though, Brentford does have the 6th best home form in the league. We're number 1, obviously. So it might be a dicey game. I'm going to say 2-1.
Okay, 2-1. Yeah, I'm a bit on the fence with this one. Yeah, I think our press will be important, put them under pressure, are superior. This is one where, not being patronising, but when you have limited teams who make the most of what they have, type stuff, where we just got to make sure our superior quality and skill tells. It's not the noisiest, most raucous of crowds, places to go. It's fairly nice. It's normally the away fans dominate. It's not like going to Sunderland. So that's not really an issue. They've got Coyote with his set pieces, so they are a threat from set pieces. Coyote with his long throws, like the original long throw merchants, not us. And they don't really score direct from set pieces as much, but there's secondary and tertiary goals and balls and shots from that. So that's always a threat. So and look, our record, since 2018. So we've played, 11 times. They've won once, that infamous game, and then we've won 8 times and drawn 2. A couple of times in the EFL Cup, and the rest in the Premier League. So yeah. Look, I say we won 3-1 last year. We won 1-0 the year before, and then 3-0 the year before that. So whatever it is like that. But anyway, look, or the time before that. So look, we should be going there to win. We're going to need to win. It's likely that we'll be 3 points in the lead, so we just got to make sure that we keep the 6 points. I'm going 2-1, but I wouldn't be surprised if it ended a draw, 1-1 or something like that. But I'm not going to predict that, but it wouldn't surprise me. So I'm going like you, 2-1, and there we go. But again, I'll take a shitty, boring, crappy 1-0. Who cares? Type stuff. But let's see. Let's go and be professional. Let's just get in, do the job, get out. And there we go. All right. Well, for those that don't know, Kuziva's been suffering with a bit of a cold throughout. So thank you for battling through that and going top up on the Lemsip.
It's always good chatting. Always good going through our therapy session.
I'm still not sure if I've been taken off the cliff yet, but I feel a bit better. But that may be time. But I don't think I'll be watching Match of the Day this evening. Put it like that. I think I'll be tuning into the Super Bowl and falling asleep in front of that instead. Okay, so look, you can, and even then, I'm not that fussed about the Patriots or the Seahawks. Anyway, so look, you can follow us on Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube channel at The Grove AFC. We're on the podcast apps, but you know that because you're listening to this or watching this in some form or another. But whilst you're there, please give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a nice little comment and a rating. That always helps, and it's always appreciated and always noticed. And our next show will be a very quick turnaround after the Brentford game and before we play Wigan in the FA Cup, so keep an eye out for that. So again, thank you for joining me this evening. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And until the next time, fuck you, Liverpool. Jesus Christ, you had one fucking job. And you, Gary Neville, get in the bin. Until the next time, come on you Gunners.